From EPAWA Weather Consulting, headquartered in Worth Whitehall, Pennsylvania, this is Weather Weeklies, an informative video of the ins and outs of weather that affect you most in the EPAWA coverage area. The thoughts and opinions expressed in this video are those of the forecaster alone and may not reflect those of the staff of EPAWA Weather Consulting LLC as a whole, nor its constituents. Now, without further ado, here is meteorologist Bobby Martrich with Weather Weeklies.
Good Sunday morning to you. Another edition of Weather Weeklies for Sunday, February 28th. We are starting to wind down winter, but we're not quite done yet. We have a couple periods where we're going to have some slightly below average temperatures through the first week of March, and I think we're starting to moderate after that point. And I expressed that in the long-range outlook that I did on Friday. Here is the long-range outlook table, and you see the slightly below average periods in a couple of them. We have one, a very short one that's going to be on generally Monday night, Tuesday. We're looking at slightly below average temperatures there. And then we get a very short transient period of, this is actually probably going to be near to slightly above average, but it's going to warm up a little bit as we get to Wednesday and Thursday. But then when we get to the end of the week and weekend, it looks to turn slightly below average again. And there's been some speculation that there is going to be a storm to coincide with that. There is a storm there. I did not list this as a storm signal, however, because I just don't think we're going to get something in this time frame. I know there's been wide speculation of that, a couple models showing that idea over the past couple of days. So we're not going to give up on that idea entirely, but I think if anything's going to happen, like I said in the long-range outlook in the written discussion, it's going to be in this first week of March. After that, I don't foresee another chance for that going forward. I think we're going to be generally, especially during the second week of March, we're going to be above average here. And then we kind of stay near to slightly above average during the second half of March. And then maybe toward the end of the March, we start to peak again. But we're running out of time for the snow chances here. So we're dwindling down with winter. I know there, and I hear this all the time. I say something in the long range, and the Facebook experts come out and say, oh, well, it snowed in the March before, so you can't give up on winter. Okay, I do long-range forecasting. I know what I'm doing, obviously. I've done this for a very long time, and our long-range is one thing that has been very consistently on point this year. If I see a pattern that is developing at a certain point, and I say it's done, it's done. Okay, now I did say that through the end of the first week of March, there's still opportunities. So we're not closing the window just yet on winter, but this is your window that is going to happen up through next Sunday, which is the 7th of March. After that point, probably not. Probably not. Okay, so that's just my professional opinion. I know it has happened in the past. Stranger things have happened. March, you can get snow. You get snow in April yet. I think for all intents and purposes, the winter is going to be generally coming to a close after this first week is over. Okay, and then we'll have generally slightly above average temperatures for a large part going forward after that point. Does it mean you can't get something very transient come in here at a little surprise where you have something like we had a couple days ago, maybe a little bit of onset snow going to rain kind of thing? Sure. Okay, that could still happen, but in large part here we're heading toward the equinox here, and it's going to be chances go down exponentially as you get closer to the equinox and then beyond. For something like that to happen. Here is our system that we're dealing with today. This already happened. There were the overnight snow that came on Friday night that changed to rain on Saturday and ended generally Saturday morning. That's done. The next one we have listed here is today's system. That is the rain, and there's going to be rain across the entire region. And that's going to go through. The steadiest is going to be generally through the end of the day today, during the daylight hours, maybe in the evening, and then we start to taper back to just intermittent showers overnight. And then that goes into very early Monday morning. This third one here listed, which is rain or snow, has now been universally showed to stay to our south, and it is suppressed. So that is a good thing if you're trying to avoid a more snow, because this would be coming at a time when you have some at least marginal temperatures in place to give you an opportunity for some snowfall, maybe similar to what we had Friday night, Saturday morning, with a little bit of onset snow over to rain. But this is now projected to stay to our south. That's the midweek system. The one everybody was talking about is the 7th. I don't even have it listed here, because I see the argument that's being made about the potential for something there, but until I see the ensembles jump on this, and we're within a week now, and they're just not. I'm not really going to jump on this idea. There were a few runs that were suggesting we'd have something kind of lurking. nearby. But there's been some changes with the blocking since then. The blocking was being showed to be a little bit more prominent, and now it's starting to back off a little bit. So I think that 7th period that I do not have listed here will remain unlisted, but we're going to watch it just in case because it's coming during this period where we expect near to slightly below average temperatures. So obviously February finishes well above average snowfall across the region. We're going slightly below for the month of March, and that might be non-existent for some of you. Here is the average snowfall for the month of February and March. Obviously, we're well above average here in this category in February. Matter of fact, some areas, I know Allentown here had their 2nd snowiest winter of all time. Well, in recorded history anyway, I should say all time, because these records only been kept since 1940 in Allentown, and obviously the weather occurred, whether there was somebody there to observe it or not, it still occurred prior to 1940. So I say in recorded history, it's the 2nd snowiest February of all time. Here's what is considered average for March. Again, we're going slightly below average. This might be just non-existent in some of these areas. Might not see anything, especially the further south and east you go. Philadelphia might be done for the year. Atlantic City probably done for the year. So there's areas further south and east. Harrisburg, Allentown, and Newark. We'll see. Okay. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, far interior still has a shot of getting something, but I don't know if it's going to be a ton here. Here's what we had for snowfall thus far this year, and you see all these areas are well above average. Now, the asterisks next to here indicate that we are going to be above average for an entire winter season, no matter what happens beyond this point. If we get no more snow the rest of the year, you're still above average snowfall, in some cases well above. Look at Allentown, almost 60 inches of snow there, which is crazy. The Scranton-Wilkes-Barre area, this is actually a little higher than this. There was some snow measured, but I don't have the official measurement here at Scranton-Wilkes-Barre Airport for that snow that occurred on Friday night before it changed to rain. I don't have an official ASOS measurement here, so this is and the latest update for the climatology report did not include it. So this is actually probably about 53 or there, or maybe 53 point something, but still, this is well above average. And this is across our entire region. We're above average. The one area that is not, it's a Climo station, is Atlantic City, which is 7.3. So areas southeast of 95 didn't do as well this year in some spots. Okay, so you did not get to average, and you're below average there. Here is the rain expected today, and this is doing a loop from about noon forward, and you get some intermittent showers overnight, and then you get another push after midnight with the front, and it's going to go into very early Monday morning. You might have some maybe between 6 and 9 a.m., might have some lingering showers, and then clouds are going to give way to sun here on Monday, and it's going to turn breezy, and actually, very breezy as we get into have a secondary cold front move through on Monday night. So overnight, Monday night, you get a little windy, and then you go back to Tuesday, we have high pressure moving in and mostly sunny skies, but colder temperatures. Again, that's that day we expected the colder temperature, slightly below average. Some areas not getting out of the most areas not getting out of the 30s for highs here on Tuesday. So we get that rain to deal with today. The heaviest is going to be I-78 and south today with that rain. Now, do we have an extended drier period coming now? Because we're missing out on this midweek system. Okay, so this is starting off the second storm here. So there's the system on Wednesday. This is what we're starting off with right here. This is the ensembles I'm using now. It largely stays south of the region, so that one is going to miss now, it looks like. And then here's our storm signal that everybody was talking about here around the 7th. Could this come up and give us a storm? Well, right now, the ensembles, all 50 of them, have it missing south and east of our region by a considerable margin. So this is not even close. This one on midweek is actually closer than that storm signal everybody was been talking about, because we have a big cold air plunge coming in here at the end of the week from Friday, Saturday, Sunday's time frame. But it might be too overwhelming to the point where it keeps us off to the south, and I think that's what's happening here. Yes, you're going to get colder, but then there is a storm signal there, and there's a storm sitting here. It comes out of the desert southwest here and comes across the country. But because this is already established, this trough is already established, this stays well to our south here and exits. So I don't think that's going to hit unless I see some serious changes over the next couple of days here. But we're only a week away from this, and all 50 are keeping it south. So all 50 ensemble members are keeping it south. There's not one that comes up and hits us with anything, even grazes us. So I think this remains south. We're going to continue to monitor it. Again, we have a window through the end of the first week of March to see something, but that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to, and I would lean against it right now. After that, we turn we turn milder. And the reason why that storm signal is starting to back off a little bit, here's the blocking in the North Atlantic, and we're showing this blocking period. Here's the third. So we have a better blocking signal for that first one on Wednesday, but that's still going to miss south, it looks like. And then once we get to that second one of the 7th, you see it climbed out of the negative NAO, and it's just about neutral, pretty close to it here by the time we get to, actually it is neutral by the time we get to the morning of the 7th. So that would likely not help at this point. And we were looking at this a couple days ago. The models were suggesting this period would extend like this, okay, and that blocking would maintain a little bit longer. Well, if you had it maintained through about the 7th, and that storm comes in right about here, then yeah, you had a chance. But the trend recently has been to cut down on the time of this blocking being in place. So it's backing it off to about the 4th, 5th time frame, then it climbs out of it, and by the time we get to the 7th, when that second storm signal arrives, it's back to neutral, and it doesn't really help for trying to get this thing to come up the coast and nail us. So, but we are going to turn neutral and then even head to positive, NAO once we get to that second week. This is going to be coinciding with a warmer period. Here's what the periods look for as far as temperatures. Here's that quick cold shot on Tuesday. Then we warm up for a couple days, slightly above average. Then here's that second one. Here's that second cold shot, Friday through about Sunday, and then that's going to be kicked out. Here's the second week of March warmth coming into our region. That's going to send us to above average temperatures, and I think that's going to be the end period. So this is going to keep looping here. Here's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you get like a little bit of moderation, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you have some colder temperatures coming in here toward the end of the week. Here's what it looks like graphically. Here's Philadelphia. And again, we have starting off with a mild temperatures here on Monday. We take that step back here on Tuesday where it's below average. This is below average for Philadelphia this time of year. Then we get the spike up for a couple days. And here's that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay, 40, 43, 45. Marginal, I guess, for something there. But again, you have to have a storm here to coincide with that. There's really nothing shown there right now. And here's that second week of March warmth. We get well up into the 50s, maybe even touching 60 somewhere in here. For Philadelphia. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, far northwest areas, again, your temperatures are supported for something that could certainly produce snow, but you have to have a storm. And right now, the answer is no, we're not going to have a storm. So we have milder to start here on Monday, then you have temperatures stuck in the 20s for highs here on Tuesday. You spike up here for a couple days, then you go right back down into the 30 to 35 degree range here. So this would be supportive of snow if you, in fact, had a storm. We just don't have the storm here. It looks like it's suppressed off to the south, but even up here in Wilkes-Barre, you're getting up to near the 50 degree mark here during that second week. So it's going to moderate quite a bit, and you're going to get some snow melt. This is what we like to call the mud season in meteorology. We start getting into that snow melt season where the ground's always wet, the grass is always soggy and wet, and you get some plenty of mud around. This is the mud season we're heading into right now. The good thing is if you have an extended dry period, with the above average temperatures here in this period expected, we're not expecting a lot of precipitation during this week. So any remaining snow, if there is any around at that point, there will be melting during this week, and you should be able to dry the ground out a little bit before it turns a little bit wetter during the second half, I think. So here's that storm signal again. This is Wednesday. Everything's keeping this off to the south. This is about the closest anything comes. This is on Wednesday. That stays off to our south. And then you have another one coming in here. There's that other storm signal coming in on over the weekend. And this is that 6. There it comes right here. So there's Saturday, and it just kind of slides off to the south, and that's it. That's as close as any model gets it right now. And then you have a big trough here with colder temperatures. But as of now, again, it's not something I'm turning my back on completely, but it doesn't look really very good for the home team if you're looking for snow. If you're on Team Snow, this is not looking too good right now. Can that change? Yes. So we're going to continue to watch that, especially when we have that cold air projected to be in place here between the 5th and 7th, like we have listed in the long-range signals here. But this might be too much cold here for this thing to come up the coast here at this time. So we'll just continue to watch that. But I don't think it's something that we have to continue going on and on about here. And we're just going to watch the next week, and after that point, we'll see where we're at. So we still have the window of opportunity for winter to maintain through the end of the first week of March, and that's going to be generally with temperatures, okay? Tuesday, pretty much, and then we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be a little cooler than average before we moderate so we're cooler than average for the times in the first week of March, and then turning milder week 2. That is pretty much a certainty because we're looking at across the board with every bit of guidance we have. And some of the global observations are certainly supporting that idea for a milder week 2. We're near to slightly above average temperatures maintaining during the second half of March, and precipitation increases after a drier first half. I think those 2 storms will miss, and then we'll have a generally drier first half of March. And then we get into the second half, we're going to increase those chances a little bit to at least slightly above average precipitations. I don't think March is going to be as anomalously wet as February was. And, we'll just continue to watch that going forward. But I think it looks like you have a better chance for precipitation to increase during the second half of March with those near to slightly above average temperatures. But near average temperatures at that time, you're getting up close to 50 degrees, if not above that, for normals. So it's going to be tougher to get snow beyond that point. So this is the final expected Weather Weeklies video of the 2020-2021 season. That does not mean I'm writing everything off. Again, that first week of March we're going to watch, and we'll see where see if we have anything that comes out of that. And if it would happen, it would be next Sunday. But it looks like at that point we'd be doing a Weather Weeklies video. The Weather Weeklies projects the next 5 to 6 weeks ahead. So if there's nothing coming after that point, there's no sense in me continuing the videos here at that point. And I know everybody's gonna be sad because you're stopping Weather Weeklies, and it's not going to start again until next November. But I really don't think that we have for a large part. You might have something that you squeak out there. Again, maybe like a system that comes in that brings primarily rain, but might start as you might have antecedent cold air in place that gives you a little bit of snow or mix on the onset. But that's something we can handle in the short range. This is not something that I need to waste a 15 minutes of time video discussing something like that with. We have the daily forecast videos that will cover that. And I also have the, obviously our local forecast, weather alerts if needed. We'll cover that at that point. But as far as the long-range projection, with largely being above average going forward, I don't think we're going to have much of a chance once we get past the first week of March. And the next video would be the 7th of March. So there will be no sense in discussing the next 6 weeks if there's no wintry component to that at that point. If that changes, I will have a video next week, and I'll notify you of that. But right now, I'm expecting this will be the last one of the season. So, enjoyed all the commentary from all of you this winter, and I appreciate everybody who took the time to watch the videos. I know this can get quite lengthy, and I appreciate you following throughout the season and keeping up on the long-range signals. This has been a very good season working out for our long-range signals. So, we don't have any listed right now. We'll continue to watch that one for the 7th. But I appreciate everybody that took the time to watch these videos religiously every single week, and we hope to see you again next year. It'll start up in the probably the first week of November like we did this season, and we'll go from there for the 2021-22 season. I'm EPAWA meteorologist Bobby Martrich. That is this edition for Weather Weeklies for Sunday, February 28th. Join us again next year. Unless we have a reason to continue these videos, I will see you again next year. Take care.